Hey everybody, again, my name is OldSkuleNerd and we are still rocking Napalm A to Z.
It's time for reaction. Welcome in. OldSkuleNerd.
Hey everybody, my name is OldSkuleNerd and again, we're still in the A's. We're going to get through the A's. The problem is to get through the A's, we have to do bands like Ailstorm and other bands that I've already done on this channel. But as I was looking through the Napalm list from A to Z, there's a band that I have kind of all their albums. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this one. And I'm obviously talking about Alter Bridge. I've been following Scott, Mr. Marshall, and Mark Tremonti, and Miles Kennedy for years. I was one of those people that got pulled into the whole Creed thing at the beginning, and I even saw them twice live. Now, the second time I saw them is because I wanted to see Big Dismal live, and they just happened to be opening up for Creed, and it worked out. But if people ask me, I like Alter Bridge much more than Creed, because I'm not a fan of Scott Stapp, even though he is on Napalm Records as well. So when we get to the S's, but let's get into Alter Bridge. This one I didn't put up to vote for my Patreon because, quite frankly, I've seen almost all their videos, so it's not going to help. But there is one particular album that I have downloaded on my Amazon Music that a lot of people do, and it's their 2017 concert at Royal Albert Hall with the Parallax Orchestra. And I have the album, but I've never seen any of the videos from that concert. So there's a particular song that I like of theirs called Words Darker Than Their Wings. It's probably my third favorite song, behind Blackbird, of course, and Open Your Eyes. So I thought I'd do that one. The reason why I'm doing this one is I want to see with my eyes the moment that Miles Kennedy hits that Miles Kennedy note. If you've ever heard this song, you know the note I'm talking about. It's towards the end, and it's the one that everyone goes, wow, okay. It's impressive, to say the least. But Miles Kennedy is one of my favorite vocalists, one of my favorite rock vocalists. He's also a pretty good guitar player, but he does have an amazing voice, so I enjoy that. Alter Bridge or Tremonti or Creed, whatever iteration of those three guys, Mr. Marshall, Scott Phillips, and of course Mark Tremonti, when you put those three guys together, they are just that hard rock power sound. There's no frills, but when you're talking about emotionally elevating music, it's kind of what they do. Is it very radio play style? Yes. But it's also for the masses. You can play their songs pretty much anywhere, and it works. But when you put them with Miles Kennedy, with his voice and just the way he tells stories, it was a perfect marriage. So this is Alter Bridge live at Royal Albert Hall with the Parallax Orchestra. This is Words Darker Than Their Wings. My name is OldSkuleNerd. Check us out at OldSkuleNerd.com. It's got all the social media posts, the Patreon link for those who want to help support the channel. We appreciate every single one of you, and the merchandise store. This is Napalm A to Z.
Okay, so we have a special treat for y'all.
Really?
And there's a song that we've had in our catalog for, when was this made? 7 years, something like. It's been around for 7 years. We recorded it on AB3, and fans have been asking for a long, long time. When are you gonna play this one special song? It's this one song, and these guys are like, oh, Miles doesn't want to play it because whatever. There's a high note at the end. It's a big baby.
Wow.
So
that's not the note I was talking about.
I'm manning up. You guys want to hear Words Darker Than the Wings or what?
I think I know why everyone asked that question. They don't do this song live very often because it is vocally probably the hardest song he does on their albums. Now, there's a lot of bands. There are some songs that they do in studio they don't do live. Some songs are a push on the vocalist. They do make those songs that are like that. And this one was on the album, and I really enjoyed it on the album. So, like I told you before, I want to see him hit this note. I want to see him make this run. I want to see him pull these vocals off. Everything else I know they got. But man, this song really, and it hits like a hammer. It really does. I know it's not as metal as some of the other stuff I've done. In fact, it's not even as metal as the song we did earlier. But it's Alter Bridge, man. It's Alter Bridge. Come on.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. You say you are right. I hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah, them doing this with the Parallax Orchestra doesn't hurt it either.
But still it is gone. Just don't you lose hope. I swear I never dreamed that we're alone. Now don't you let go. I swear I still believe, though I don't know. Remember the years when I still walked home, and I only feel that I only grown. How could I be wrong? I hope there comes a day you're.
And for those wondering, when we get to the T's, we will be doing Tremonti as well. Mark is an underrated guitarist. Why? Because when he was existing in Creed, he was pretty much stuck to just power chording. He's really, really good at it. But similar to how Roman works the chords in Ginger, Mark Tremonti does the same thing. He's a master layering of chords and his guitar phrasing. He's not known for his guitar solos. Neither is Roman from Ginger, but technically their style of band doesn't need it either. Now, don't get me wrong, Ginger, Alter Bridge, two totally different types of bands. The one thing that I was really happy about when I heard that Miles Kennedy was joining these three guys, Marshall, Phillips, and Tremonti from Creed, when I heard that they were joining together and making Alter Bridge, was that I was like, well, wait a minute, Miles Kennedy plays guitar. Does this mean that Mark isn't just going to be stuck playing power chords for power ballads every other song? Will he get to do guitar solos and stuff? Come to find out, yes. And he's pretty dang good. In fact, one of my favorite guitar solos that he does is in this concert. I don't think there's a video of it unless you own the DVD of Open Our Eyes. The guitar solo on that is pretty dang good. And it's probably one of his best. Again, if you get to the T's, eventually, when we get there, we'll be doing Mark's band called Tremonti. And again, pretty good vocalist. His band does do a little bit more experimental stuff. It's more fun, a little bit more raw, which I do like. But let's get back into this, though. I don't want to stop this too much because freaking Alter Bridge. No kidding. I've had a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Old School, if you could tell us what drummer do you play most like when you used to play the drums?" Honestly, Scott Phillips. I played a lot like Scott Phillips. I love his style. He does play open-handed, which I enjoy. Not fast, but he's really, really good at jazz fill notes. Putting in intermittent tom and splash and crash hits in the middle of measures to kind of give kind of a build. It's almost jazz feeling, but without the speed. My playing style was very, very similar to Scott Phillips. And if I start playing again, watching him play is pretty much like watching me play, except accomplished and good. And with a band. Another thing, Mark and Miles really, really good at their harmony. Mark has a good, solid, lower tone harmony. And when you have that with what Miles does, it lifts the crowd, man. All the stuff that Creed used to do about pumping up crowds and playing that arena anthem stuff, kind of like a 90s Journey without Steve Perry. It's true though. They had crowds going nuts because it was this, it was always concert arena anthems. All their songs were. Alter Bridge does do them as well, but they do some of the more artistic stuff, which I really enjoy. So I think Alter Bridge was a great way for these three musicians to really break out of that stereotype that they got stuck in the 90s. And I know it wasn't good for them. They didn't really, they did a great job, but it really kind of hem-stitched them into one little genre. It hurt them a lot. People ask me, if you love bands like Ginger and Sabaton and metal bands and Unleash the Arches and stuff, what are the two big rock bands that if you got an opportunity, you go see every time over and over and over again? Alter Bridge and Foo Fighters. Those are my two favorite rock bands that are just rock. Why? Because they're just fun. Watching Creed was not fun because of Scott Stapp. I never really got into him. And a lot of the reason why I didn't like Scott so much is because he always had that rock star feel to him. He was always out there with the adulation and he was always taking his shirt off and just look at me, look at me, look at me. Miles Kennedy's not like that. Miles Kennedy's just a big geek on the stage, playing his guitar, singing like an angel, and it works. So everything that Alter Bridge is, their previous incarnations are not. So it's kind of nice to see this. Let's get back into this because, again, I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. Oh. Here it comes. Damn. Miles Kennedy is the Gary Oldman of rock and roll. And if you don't know who Gary Oldman is, crack a book. It's so good. Not too bad. Hey, I'm subscribed to Alter Bridge, and so should you.
Thank you so much.
I'm not saying me talking for, 8 minutes out of a 16-minute video is worth your time, but it was definitely worth that last note. Come on. Anyway, so it's not an Napalm A to Z unless we also hit Alter Bridge, so there you go. From the live concert at Royal Albert Hall with the Parallax Orchestra, this was Words Darker Than Their Wings. My name is OldSkuleNerd, and we'll see you on the next time. Yeah, we're almost done with the A's. Just a few more. Just a couple more. Don't worry, we'll get to them all. Then we get to start on the B's. One down, 25 more letters to go.